Operation Epic Fury.
"4 days. That's all it took for President Trump to accomplish what decades of weak diplomacy never could. Operation Epic Fury is absolutely decimating Iran's nuclear ambitions, and the establishment media is in full panic. They're trying to downplay the most decisive military victory in modern American history, and the Secretary of War just dropped the hammer with the 3 words that should terrify every enemy of the United States. They are toast. Meanwhile, Senate Democrats has tried to block our commander-in-chief from protecting America, and they got absolutely humiliated. And what happened next on the Senate floor will have you cheering. My question is, are you ready for this? Let me tell you exactly what this means for you and your family. You see, for years, Iran has been developing nuclear weapons while feckless politicians kick the can down the road. They funded terrorists who attacked our troops. They plotted to assassinate President Trump himself. In the previous administrations, they sent them pallets of cash and called it diplomacy. Now that era of weakness is over. Every American family that worried about a nuclear Iran threatening our way of life can sleep a little bit better tonight. Every soldier deployed overseas is safer because our enemies finally understand that America means business. Your children, your grandchildren, they won't inherit a world where radical Islamic terrorists have nuclear weapons pointed at our cities. This is what America First foreign policy looks like in action. And the UN ambassador said it best. When President Trump realized Iran refused to cooperate, he stopped the diplomatic games and took bold, decisive action. Our military is setting the tone and the tempo of this fight. Iran cannot outlast us, and they know it. This is not just a military operation, folks. This is the restoration of American strength on the world stage. And speaking of American strength, there is a critical national security story developing right now that the legacy media absolutely does not want you to see. As Iran destabilizes the Middle East, the federal government just made a move that could reshape America's entire security posture. And here's the truth they don't want you to know. Our nuclear submarines, our warheads, our next generation power grid, all of it depends on uranium, and we import almost every single pound of it. This is not just about energy independence, this is about survival. Because a nation that cannot power its own military does not control its own destiny. That's why smart Americans are paying attention to atomic minerals, trading as ATMMF in the United States and ATOM in Canada. They're positioned in the Utah uranium corridor, working to secure domestic supply chains that our national defense desperately needs. When you see what's happening in Iran right now, you understand why American uranium matters more than ever. Now let me show you what just went down that proves President Trump has completely broken the radical left. You see, while our military is delivering devastating blows to Iran's terror infrastructure, Senate Democrats tried to stab our troops in the back by blocking President Trump's strikes. They failed miserably. 48-52. Even John Fetterman had enough sense to break from his party and stand with the United States of America. But that's not even the wildest part. Senator Tim Sheehy, a decorated combat veteran, personally helped Capitol Police eject a screaming protester from the chamber. The left is absolutely melting down, and we have got all the footage to prove it. First, we're going to go to what happened with the Secretary of War on Operation Epic Fury.
America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. Under the direct command of President Trump, the War Department unleashed this operation early Saturday morning, just 4 days ago, which means we need to remember 2 things. First, we are only 4 days into this. Metrics are shifting, dust is settling, and more forces are arriving. It's very early, and as President Trump has said, we will take all the time we need to make sure that we succeed. Second, we are only 4 days into this, and the results have been incredible. Historic, really. Only the United States of America could lead this, only us. But when you add the Israeli Defense Forces, a devastatingly capable force, the combination is sheer destruction for our radical Islamist Iranian adversaries. They are toast, and they know it. Or at least, soon enough, they will know it. And we have only just begun to hunt, dismantle, demoralize, destroy, and defeat their capabilities. Just 4 days in.
We have only just begun to fight. The Defense Secretary's devastating assessment gets immediate backup from our UN ambassador. This is a coordinated message clearly from the top. Listen.
Well, just as the president said, we're ahead of schedule for the Department of War in terms of achieving the goals that he laid out. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. They can't have the ballistic missiles to hold the entire region hostage as they develop one. They cannot continue to fund terrorism as they've been doing for 47 years all over the region, attacking both the United States and our allies. So we're making progress towards those goals, devastating progress. But Maria, I just want to touch on this kind of narrative that's out there in the mainstream media and that you're hearing from the Democrats that he's been inconsistent. The president has been incredibly consistent. All three of his campaigns that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The JCPOA, Obama's Iran deal, was a horrible deal and got us out of it years ago. He reinstated maximum pressure his first month in office, his second term. He has been consistent over and over again that this diabolical regime cannot have a nuke to threaten the United States or allies, period. No, and he's taking action along those lines, and he's said it for over a decade.
President Trump, even before he was in office, holding the same position on Iran, and the UN ambassador confirming we're ahead of schedule. But now we go back to the defense secretary revealing the personal stakes. Iran's assassination plot against President Trump himself.
We've known for a long time that Iran had intentions on trying to kill President Trump and or other U.S. Officials. And while that was not the focus of the effort by any stretch of the imagination, in fact, never raised by the president or anybody else, I ensured and others ensured that those who were responsible for that were eventually part of the target list. It wasn't the beginning of the effort. We were focused on missiles and launchers, and that's the focus. But ultimately, if we had the opportunity to get at those who are trying to get at Americans specifically, we would. And so we eventually had the opportunity to do that from the air.
So the Secretary of War making it clear it's not just about nukes anymore, it's personal. The Defense Secretary says America will not be constrained by anyone's timeline but our own. Here is more with the Secretary of War.
Iran cannot outlast us. We're going to ensure through violence of action and our offensive capabilities and our defensive capabilities, as I said, that we set the tone and the tempo of this fight. That's why stories and speculation about different things that try to make it look like we're limited in what we can do. The only limits we have in this is President Trump's desire to achieve specific effects on behalf of the American people. And that's why we don't talk about, you can say 4 weeks, but it could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 3. Ultimately, we set the pace and the tempo. The enemy is off balance, and we're going to keep them off balance. And we know their ability to shoot versus our ability to defend. That difference gets wider and wider every day. Our defense gets better, their offensive capabilities diminish. As we are going into ammunitions that we, as we said, have tens of thousands of and can drop unlimited supplies on with even more effects than the standoff emissions we have now, which is why when we say the throttle's going up, the throttle's going up and it's going to stay on high.
The throttle is going up, he says. From tough talk to actual footage, we're about to see the apocalyptic reality of what they are toast actually looks like on the ground. Clash Report posting this video. Apocalyptic scenes in Tehran.
What? از اینجا میاد اینجا.
Look at this. That's just some of the footage coming out of Tehran. And now the White House is dropping the mic with a brutal video. Take a look at this, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. That was directly from the White House account. Millions of views on that. But the political battle is raging. Democrats breaking ranks to support the strikes. UN ambassador, when it became clear, he decided to stop kicking the can down the road.
What our special envoy Witkoff has repeatedly explained, including, I believe, just last night, is that, yes, we absolutely obliterated those three particular sites, Esfahan, Natanz, and Fordo, and their enrichment and weaponization capabilities, but they've also hidden a large amount of highly enriched uranium, number one. And number two, I think it's widely established that once you enrich to 60%, and there's no reason to do so, Jake, except to build a nuclear weapon, it is exponentially above what you need for a civilian program, that the Iranians refuse to give it up. They refuse to ship it out. They refuse to destroy it. They were offered by Special Envoy Witkoff, Kushner, and Secretary Rubio on multiple occasions different avenues to establish just a civilian program. And when that became clear to the president, he decided to stop kicking the can on this problem and take the bold, decisive action that he has. And, you know, back to your issue or your question on the UN's been dealing with this for decades.
Yeah.
In 2006, 20 years ago, we started with both the sanctions program, the condemnation of their nuclear program, and country after country just a few days ago said and reaffirmed Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, period. Finally, the president has been quite consistent on this. In all three of his campaigns, he made it quite clear this was a red line. And what I think the American people voted for was a president, a commander-in-chief that stands up for his red lines.
Unlike past presidents who had more like dotted red lines, and the Senate handing Trump a massive political victory and drama playing out in the halls of the Capitol. But first, the U.S. Senate officially rejecting the radical Democrats' attempt to block Trump's military strikes on Iran. The vote failed 48-52. Even John Fetterman had the common sense to break ranks. Here is the video from the floor. Motion to discharge SJ Res 104 joint resolution to direct the removal of United States Armed Forces from hostilities within the Islamic Republic of Iran. Yeas 48, nays 52. And Senator Tim Sheehy took matters into his own hands, personally helping Capitol Police eject a protester from...
Out! No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand! His hand! Oh! His hand!
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door. The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Sir.
Okay, he's dressed as a Marine.
I'm stuck in the door. Sir. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Hand's stuck. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. You're a coward. Punk. Yeah, go fuck yourself. What'd you say? Senator? Go fuck yourself. You were a shit seal. That's why you got kicked out. Fat ass.
Everybody sit down, please. Sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please.
I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please. Is your hand okay? Okay. No, it's not.
This is disgusting. Disgusting.
Just pull it out.
This is disgusting.
Wow. Those are the scenes from the Hill today. So here's what the establishment does not want you to understand. This is not just about Iran. This is about the complete and total restoration of American dominance. For 47 years, Iran has funded terrorism, held our hostages, and threatened our allies while Washington politicians negotiated in weakness. President Trump said enough. The ambassador confirmed we're ahead of schedule. The Secretary of War says we have unlimited capability to continue. And here's the kicker that should make every patriot proud. Those who plotted to assassinate President Trump They made it onto the target list. Justice delivered from 30,000 feet. This is what happens when you elect a commander-in-chief who actually loves America and refuses to bow to our enemies. So, Patriots, what you're witnessing is quite historic. President Trump promised Iran would never get a nuclear weapon, and he's delivering on that promise with overwhelming force. The Democrats tried to stop him and got crushed. The media tried to spin it and got exposed, and Iran tried to resist and got obliterated. This is America winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. So I need you to share this video right now because big tech is suppressing this story. So hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a comment below. Here's my question. Do you support President Trump's decisive action against Iran? Simple yes or no. Let me know in the comments. And if you want to show your support for America First journalism, check out the Next News merch shelf right below this video. We've got gear that lets the world know exactly where you stand. Thank you for being part of the Next News family. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.